Well, I am so excited to have you. We have Greg Adler on the show this week, the Collegiate Esports Talk Show. I'm your host, Coach Antor, and this week we are talking about Collegiate Smash Brothers.
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost.
So, Greg, what do you got to talk about this week about Collegiate Smash?
Heck yeah, I'm glad to be here. I love the show, Adam. I've always tuned in, so really happy to be able to kind of talk about it. I'm excited because this is kind of the first official announcement we get to make of it. I've told people that we've been planning something for College Smash and kind of have something coming this semester, but this is the first time I actually get to formally talk about it. So for the first time ever, for those that don't know, I run the Collegiate Smash Discord server, which is essentially a Discord server dedicated entirely to College Smash, and we've ran our own circuit and stuff. But for the first time ever, we're bringing in an outside sponsor who's helping us run the event, and they are called Brag House. For those that do not know them, they ran I'll link their Twitter here, but they ran a College Smash event last year, which was a singles event, which was mainly Texas-based. And when they ran the event, they did an awesome job with it. And it was a great time for us to be able to kind of partner up with them and create something. So we're having what we've titled tentatively as the Brag House Bash. Essentially, it's a College Smash event with 4 qualifying brackets and then a top 8 with the 2 teams from each. It is all online. We're trying to hopefully get to a place where offline does come back, but with COVID and everything, trying to play it a little safe. So yeah, that's it's going to be an awesome event. Kind of being able to kind of delve into the space and kind of get things going.
Awesome. It looks like my links are disabled, so I posted what I believe is the correct Twitter. Mm-hmm. If you could just verify that. But okay, so what does this look like? What details can you share with us? This is super exciting.
Sure. So my biggest goal for those that don't know, and College Smash as a whole, is that Smash in general is always a side game. There's never someone that's running College Smash exclusively as College Smash. It's either an attachment onto League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League, or people just don't straight up do it. But through my experience, I found that College Smash is actually pretty strong of a scene. Being in person, you have your natural crowds, you have your natural one-on-ones. It's a fairly easy game to understand for the most part. And so since then, I've been really dedicated to creating a space and kind of getting something that's really meant for the students. It's organized, it's on top of what the up-to-date rule sets are in the scene, and kind of is something for them. And so that's where this circuit has come into a play. Like I said, it's going to be 4 individual qualifiers with a top 8, where the top 2 teams from each of the qualifiers will advance to that. We're looking to have a pricing overall. Pricing will be announced, but we are going to have a pricing for top 8 and maybe for each of the qualifiers along the way. But it's going to be 5v5 format, our regular format, which we've stuck to for the most part. And it should be a lot of fun. Excited to see kind of the teams that sign up for it, because it's so new. We haven't done anything like this. I'm curious to see who's interested.
That's awesome. Now, will this overtake any Collegiate Smash thing that your server has been doing in the past? Will this basically replace that?
So it's kind of a 2-part thing. Number one, Brag House is really invested in the college scene. It's awesome. They have come, like I said, they came in pretty early last year with their singles Smash event. And I think it was only Texas based. So I don't think many schools heard about it, but it was really well ran. It was super well organized. It was super well produced. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of a perfect partnership, right? Like, they want to get involved in the College Smash scene. We have the infrastructure. We already have the schools that are around it. So let's bring them into the mix. And so I think this is the start of something that I think could be really long term. The goal is to have something in person, maybe next year, depending on how COVID looks and stuff. And I think Brag House is a partnership that can allow us to do this. They have the same goals and fundamentals that we have kind of looking for, while being able to bring them like a really well-organized event and kind of get their broadcast team involved. So to long-windedly answer your question, hoping that this kind of builds the future of our group, and kind of, is a way to push into the future of something really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Some way to make this sustainable, I think, is huge, and bringing on a sponsor hopefully helps with that. Why should schools look to this event versus some other events of the space? And what does this event hope to accomplish that others aren't quite hitting?
Yeah, and by any means, I think the other events as a whole, I think the nice part about all the other events we've participated in, like NECC and CSL, have really done a great job of paving what we're kind of building on. You know what I mean? Because they've existed for a while now, been doing their thing, so we've really been able to kind of build off of that. I think the biggest benefit to us and to kind of me for people to join it is that I'm not for profit at all. I mean, I literally started this league by myself back in the day. I put my own prize pool into it of my own money and kind of invested in it for a while. And I listen a lot to the students. My number one goal is that I really want the students to come out of this and say, this was a meaningful experience that really aligned with what we want. And I think that's the biggest thing out of it. It's not a league to try to get teams to sign up for something special. We're not trying to collect data or anything like that. It's literally just we want to make the best college Smash League that we can for the students, and something, like you said, consistency, something year after year they can say, hey, this is the circuit we're going to compete in.
Nice. And when does signups start?
So signups will go out next week. The circuit days are going to be on Wednesday nights. CSL is on Thursdays, so we wanted to make sure that we didn't run into them at all in anything like that. So the brackets themselves will be on Wednesday nights. I'll put if anyone is interested, I can throw a link to the Discord server in the chat if anyone wants to join.
Go ahead and send it to me on Discord so I can post it, because I don't have links enabled.
Okay.
That would be
cool.
Great.
But yeah, it's like I said, it'll take place on Wednesdays, and it should be a lot of fun. We're trying something a little bit different here. We've never done a format. What we ran is only circuit based, where you have your groups and then you have your round robin matches and you go from there. But from what my experience was that teams, it was kind of tough to commit to that. Sometimes teams wouldn't show up, or sometimes the matches would go pretty late. And so now we just moved into this, individual brackets. You have your own bracket. You play on one night. Bracket concludes. It's single elimination, so you're not going to be there for like 7 hours a day. And then it allows you, and I think another big thing is we want college teams to be able to play against other relatively ranked college teams. So in this format, because the top two teams advance, it means that newer teams will get a chance each week to kind of climb the ladder, so to speak.
Okay, so the top two teams in each event will advance. So they wouldn't play the next tournament. That's what you're saying.
Right.
Got it.
Yep.
And this is, you said 5v5 crew battles?
Yep, that's the plan for now. We wanted to, especially for the first event, we want to keep it pretty basic. So the top 8 bracket will be double elim, which will be really nice. But the individual brackets up to that will be single elim. So there is a chance that a school plays one crew battle and they're out for that bracket. But we wanted to make this something digestible. I mean, these brackets for College Smash can last like 6-7 hours at the minimum. So that way, if we have a single elim, we can kind of keep things moving. People aren't up to crazy hours of the night, on a Wednesday night and stuff like that. So should hopefully be pretty attainable.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like a great opportunity. Aquinas Esports has a question here. Can teams field 4 players and someone can play twice? ?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, you would have to have 5 unique players. I know a lot of schools have mentioned the idea of 4v4. I think 5v5 is, we kind of wanted to try different things. We felt like 4v4 in a single elim format would kind of be too fast. Teams would get through it really quick and there's not a lot of versatility. Whereas 4v4 in a double elim bracket would last forever. So we felt like 5v5, we could try it with single elim, go from there, and then hopefully kind of teams looking into the future can maybe start to field teams around that. We know that the College Smash circuit's going to be 5v5, so we can field those 5 students instead of trying to swap it up too much.
Awesome. Any conversations ongoing with Nintendo directly that you have going on?
Honestly, not really. Funny enough, when the Play Versus announcement came out with high school, I immediately reached out to all the parties involved, and I said, look, I want to know how it got done. I want to know what was involved. And from what I've been told, there is no interest whatsoever of moving back into college. Like, that ship is far sailed at this point. And so, I asked them, I was like, what is the process involved with Nintendo? Like, is it worth it? And, so many people I talked to were like, no. The headache alone, just the processes they require you to do and stuff like that. So we're kind of just trying to do our own thing. Obviously, I'd love to have Nintendo in the mix one way or the other. But like I said, my number one goal is student opportunity. I want this bracket to be really special and something they can be proud of. And, if Nintendo aligns with that, then hell yeah. But that's, who knows? We'll see.
announce it on the show. This is awesome. I'm glad you chose us to do it with. But let's take a step back. All right, announcements out. Let's talk about Collegiate Smash in general. Where are we at? Like, what's the health of the space or the lack thereof? Like, what are your thoughts on the overall scene of Collegiate Smash, and what needs to be done to further the scene?
Sure. Well, I think from a base level, if we're talking about successful games in the college esports scene, it's obviously developer support. However, I think Smash is in a really unique spot for two reasons. I think number one, it's very easy to understand, like Rocket League for the most part. You obviously have your nuances, but it's fairly easy to understand. Number two, when you're in person, your crew battles, you naturally have your crowd created. Like you're at a league event, you don't really have, unless there's a crowd formed, you don't really have a lot of crowd. It's the teams that are participating for the most part, maybe some parents and stuff like that. But in Smash, you will always have the crowd because it's the other members of the team watching. And I think three, there's no ranking system. So it's really anyone could do anything. You have your rankings within regions, but the reality is any team can come up the ladder and show it, especially in like games like Overwatch or League or Rocket League. If you're playing a team that team has 3 challenger players and you're all, I don't know, platinum or diamond, you probably assume it's not going to go very well. Going into it, you have your expectations and stuff like that. Whereas in Smash, really anything's possible. You can have one player have a really great day and pop off and carry the team. You could try new characters that might mix in different crew battles and different things like that. So I think even though the game as a whole doesn't have a lot of support on the collegiate level, I think that kind of helps it in the sense that anything can happen, and I think there's a lot of possibilities.
Interesting. Now, so what do we need to do from a collegiate scene in general to help support the Smash community and help build it a little bit more? I think right now, I don't know how many schools actually field Smash, but it's probably not as high as you would like to see. It's not as high as I'd like to see it. What do we need to do from a collegiate standpoint to help foster that growth?
Yeah, for sure. And I think to the school's point, there's, up until, even through this point, there's no real reason to have a Smash team. If you're going to go the safe bet and go the route of like, hey, we want to make sure that our players will be able to play something every season. Obviously your leagues, your Overwatch, your Rocket Leagues are the way to go. I think the biggest thing for Smash is, I think, number one, talk to your local communities, because Smash isn't just about crew battles. We want to create crew battles, but you can have one sponsored Smash player. Even look at Davenport. Davenport has, I don't know if he's still there, Best Ness was on their roster at one point, and that's a PGR level player that they can have represent. He goes to tournaments, he goes to different events, and he can rep the brand, which I think is really unique for Smash. You don't have that too much, where it's a mix of team events and individual events that you're able to represent. So I would say as a whole, just reach out to students. Every campus has Smash players on it. See if people would be interested. Hey, you want to enter some Wi-Fi brackets, or you want to enter some local brackets, and we'll cover like one a month, something like that. I think goes a really long way, and it's like the easiest thing to get students into, because it's such a low, I should say, cost of entry and barrier of entry.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about, what if there isn't a local community? What if you're a small school in the middle of nowhere? How do you foster the growth of your players and ensure that they're getting high-level competition?
Sure. I think as it's obviously not the same as in person, I still think online Smash is an incredible tool. We've seen so many of these like high-level players, like even like the number 2 player in the world right now, Spargo, is an online player. He didn't play offline until this very year. And so I think there's a lot of things you can do online. Like as an example, when COVID first started, I set up a session where at the time the UTD Smash team went and played against one of the best Game & Watch players, Meister. And I was like, hey, Meister, you play them each on stream, and for each person you beat, I'll give you like $2 or something like that. And he was like, okay, I love that idea. That's awesome. And so it's like, not only are they getting to play against like the best player in the world, who's readily available at any time to play because they stream and it's not like, an organized thing for the most part. They're getting to play against him, but online from their own couches. So, I don't think anything will truly match offline. So I think if you're in that environment where you're in a small school, you have to try to build your community internal, host some small events, even if you get 10 people to show up to a tournament on your campus that you organize, that's a community right there. That's how it starts. And then you can kind of just go from there and build it up.
That's a good point. We hosted one Smash event in the fall and had 24 students compete in it. And I thought that was really cool. We don't sponsor Smash at this point, but fostering that community, I think, is a good first step. How does one coach a Smash team? Give us a look into the inner layer of what Smash coaching looks like. You don't have to give us your total secrets, but give us some quick tips on what that looks like and how do you help with that?
I can reveal all the secrets now because I don't have any ties.
There you go. That's true.
Let them all go.
Yeah.
No, but really quick to your point, and even what Shinra said in chat, like 20 people, 30 people, like that's awesome. Like that's activation right there. Getting people on campus, like to actively participate in something that you're organizing, and you don't even need, for the most part, internet for it, which is really nice. Yeah, because you know how LAN events can be when you need internet.
Yes.
So. But anyway, so coaching Smash though, I think it's really, really unique. I think first and foremost, I think you have to be willing to make players kind of go out of their comfort zone and just learn as much as they can, because it's very easy in Smash to just say, oh, this matchup is horrible, I'm not playing this matchup, which is maybe true. Maybe you have someone else in your team that is going to do that, but you have to instill the mindset that it's like, look, you just have to play as much as you can, play as many different characters as you can, play as many different play styles as you can, just play the game as much as you can, solely with the goal of just trying to improve. I think that's at a base level is number one. I think number two, making your players on your team improve in matchups that they know they don't have experience with or they know they're not good at. Like as an example, when I reached out to Meister to do the Game & Watch practice, our whole team hated Game & Watch. Nobody would ever want to play against him. He would someone would choose him and our whole team would be like, you going. So I was like, fuck it. Excuse my language. But I was like, screw it. We'll throw him into the mix. We'll throw him into the fire, have him play against one of the best of the best, and kind of get that experience. I think you really have to force them out of that comfort level. And especially with online being such a great tool, like you can theoretically get high level practice at any character, any time of the day if you really wanted to.
That's awesome. Neb Overwatch in chat says, how do y'all feel about Sonics joining Collegiate? Give us the backstory. I'm lost. I don't know anything about it.
Sure. So Sonics is a PGR Sonic player, in case you can guess by his name, and he just joined up with Bay State.
Oh.
They just did a new roster announcement. Honestly, personally, I love it. I think for two reasons. I think number one, I think college is a perfect place for PGR players to go to for Smash, because you can kind of get sponsored for individual events. You can get your education for the most part, and there's not a huge intensive schedule required for Smash. You have your weekend brackets and stuff like that. And I think they can kind of be the ones to push the scene, and I think anytime you can give an opportunity to a student in a scene like Smash that's brand new, that didn't exist before is pretty awesome. Like 4 years ago, I think at this point, 5 years ago, there was a player named DeBuzz, and he's like the 8th or 9th best player in the world. And he played in a CSL bracket for Stony Brook, I think, and he 1v5'd. Which is, obviously he's so good, it's going to be that difference. But that he made one tweet about it, one tweet about the College Smash event, and it got more traction than months and months worth of events build up together. So,
yeah.
I think it only helps. You get more eyes in the scene. He gets a new opportunity he might not have been able to before. And I think, hopefully it's a good relationship.
I agree. I mean, when I was coaching up at Aquinas, I was talking to some of the best PR players in the region. And to me, it just was a no-brainer to come to Collegiate. If some of those players were still in college, and just Smash is my side hustle for fun. And I was like, why not come get a scholarship? I will pay your entry fee into whatever you want to go to. I'll sponsor you to go to a major once a semester. There's no downside to this. You're already doing it. Why pay to go to your weeklies when I would pay for you?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I agree. I think there's a massive opportunity there. And just like any other semi-pro scene, these players are going through what it amounts to just a crime, underpaid, overworked, not safe conditions with who's coaching, and it's just a mess. And Collegiate is this safe opportunity. I mean, for the most part, there's probably going to be bad actors in Collegiate, but you're getting a degree, you're kind of making up your backup plan, and there's organized competition. And we're starting to see that collegiate can be an opportunity to get in front of those big organizations as well. I'm not going to say the path to pro statement at this point, but there has been instances in all those game titles where a player starts in collegiate and ends up in the big leagues. Doesn't happen often, but at least there's some instances of that.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of College Smash too. Is I think you have single-handedly the most room for pros to play with non-pros. Like even when, like the last event before COVID, Frostbite was this really huge major in Detroit, and it was actually helped run by Sean from our Canada friends up there. Yeah. And I remember that they had like teams and teams and teams of college Smash players come into play. You know, that some would be like 2 or 3 people, some would be like 6, 7 people, and like you see these guys playing against pro players, and they're most likely going to lose. Correct. But you see them playing against these pro players, and their whole team is there cheering them on. You know what I mean? They're rooting for them, and there is a chance of it happening. You know, but it's like the chances of any other like major esport being able to handle playing against like a pro like team, it would just like wouldn't even be possible.
No, it's true. I went to Frostbite in 2018. I was working for Riley Long's org Armada now he's the director at Aquinas College, who replaced me. But I was working for him at Frostbite 2018, and I remember all the like Michigan State jerseys and the Michigan jerseys, and I thought it was so cool. And that's actually one of the first times I met Sean, although I didn't really meet him. I just saw him at the table. I was like, oh, St. Clair, what is this St. Clair place? That Frostbite event was one of those cool opportunities where I got to see like college kids playing. And from a Smash perspective, it's totally unique in that any player who wants to play in these pro, not pro, whatever, they play in the same bracket. And that is that's such a unique opportunity and really cool aspect of the scene. I have a question in chat. What is Antor's main for Smash? Mine is Bowser. Who's your main?
Oh God.
Side B. Sorry, that's all I got. That's all I got. Who's your main? What's your poison?
I'm a Pac-Man player, so I don't have much room to talk, to be honest. I'm the scum of the earth over here. So.
That's funny. Well, Oakland says, no, who is it? No, it's Aquinas says, I can't handle his Luigi. That's fine. Bowser is free. Pac-Man, ew. We have not made friends off of that
Rightfully
question.
So. No, you know, and I think, I mean, I love seeing Oakland in chat. Oakland's one of the schools that actually has done our circuit like every time now. I think another cool thing about College Smash that's unique is that I think League, for the most part, is moving in a direction where schools that invest more into their, and I think there's having their Smash, but I think schools that invest more into their league program, whether it be scholarships or staffing and stuff like that, are going to tend to have stronger teams for the most part. But I think in Smash, it's interesting because people haven't invested that much yet, that like the best schools in Smash tend to just be big universities that have a large amount of, you know, students that go there. Like, you know, like you mentioned, Michigan State, Illinois is another one. You know, they're larger schools that happen to just have really strong local scenes, and then adversely have strong Smash teams, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Lansing is a really strong Smash scene when it comes to the east side of Michigan and west side kind of converging in some of that. And I always try to get our West Michigan players to get over to the east side of the state because they have a pretty strong scene over there. And what's interesting about the Smash scene and being mostly in person is that local communities only play with their local community, and the only time there's crossover is at these major events. And I think that's a massive opportunity, or lost opportunity, if you will, when it comes to player development. And I think something that Collegiate can foster is more crossover and cross-pollination, because players need to get out of their little regions. I think you get so used to playing a good Rob in West Michigan. The best player is usually Rob. But then when you go up against a good Pokemon trainer, you're like, okay, I mean, we've got some decent Pokemon trainers, but we don't have the best Pokemon trainer. So I think there's a unique opportunity there.
And it's cool because, like, you know, going back to that idea of like the ranking system, like in Smash, you know, obviously there's some rankings of players within regions, but for the most part, you're going into that like anything could happen.
Yeah,
we don't know anything about these guys. We're going in hoping for the best and kind of, you know, seeing how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, and I think there might be some parallels with the early days of CLOL versus what Smash is seeing now. As you talk about the investment. Yeah, right now there's not much investment happening. So it is those bigger schools, bigger scenes. But once you start seeing the Bay States pick up those star players and some other schools, Davenport picking up Best Ness, those are the investment opportunities that start making kind of a difference between the top tier and the rest of the pack. But we haven't really seen that outside of a couple instances. So I think there's a huge opportunity for schools. I think what's really encouraging and an opportunity that I saw in Michigan when I was at Aquinas was the high school scene of Smash was just massive. A lot of those players, we had probably 8 high schools that had esports teams, and all of them had Smash teams, and they were playing weekly. But what was interesting is those high school players were not going to their locals. So it was difficult to find those players. But just the fact that they were playing against each other got me excited about Smash, and something that I wanted to support at Aquinas going forward, and something that, COVID shut that down, unfortunately. But the fact that there were just so many high school players playing Smash was a huge opportunity for our program. From a recruitment standpoint. So, and any way a high school can help kind of create those opportunities at the high school level, it sets you up for success as a program going forward. So really important.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think,
oh no, did I lose you? No, Greg, come back. No, effing chat. Greg, it is. Come on, Riot Internet. Greg. What? I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Hello.
Am I good?
He's back. Yes. W. He left to go get food at Riot.
It's Spectrum.
It's Spectrum. Karma for being a Pac-Man main. There's Ray Nex's comment.
It's Spectrum. Do I need to reload my?
No,
video?
you're good.
Is it showing up for you?
No, it's showing
cool.
up. You're good. Cool. You're back.
I blame Spectrum.
What were you just about to say? We lost you right when you started.
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember. But I'll go to a different point I was gonna make, which was that I think the cool part about the circuit we've had so far is like we really do have built a dedicated base of schools, like Oakland, Aquinas, as an example. Illinois has done it every time now. Full Sail has. So I think we've are finally getting to a place where we're starting to have some regular schools that sign up.
Yeah.
But I think that's really cool. Like you're starting to see some repeat names and stuff like that. And I think you're giving opportunities to students that, I like to use Oakland a lot because Oakland was one that circuit I knew pretty much nothing about. I knew Leon over there, and I knew the program existed, but I never knew much about their Smash team. And then they signed up for our first circuit, and they were kicking butt. And I was like, damn, all right, this school's really solid. They got a really good program over there. And then we put out the power rankings and stuff, and they were top 10 or whatever it was, and they were posting about it. And I thought that was so cool. To be able to give an opportunity like that to students and stuff like that was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those power rankings are so cool. No matter who's putting them out, I think the key for me is when those power rankings are brought out by the experts in the space. And when I think of Collegiate Smash, you're one of those experts. Yes, CSL, NACE, I'm part of NACE. We put on Smash and we've listened to the community as much as possible. But any ranking that we come up with is not going to be what the experts of Smash is going to come up with. I think, and the same goes with the format and what you guys are creating. Is you guys are coming from the Smash community, and that I think brings a unique perspective and an opportunity that I think really excites the community. I mean, the Smash community is notoriously against outsiders, and you guys are the insiders. So I think it's really cool and really an awesome opportunity.
And for context as well, I do want to just say this to everyone and make it very clear that I think CSL NACE Smash is in a better place than it literally has ever been. I truly think like it is going to be an awesome event they have this year. So if you are a school that has college Smash, I definitely would get involved with them, because I've talked a lot with Curtis over there, and I know they really care a lot about making a solid product. So I definitely suggest all of you check it out for sure.
They definitely do. I mean, when we came out with the fall format, I know a lot of people were kind of upset, and you being one of them. And I mean, our goal was to listen and to make a difference in what we were doing going forward. So hopefully what we're building at Naystar League will bring value to students, but I'm really excited to see another opportunity, because one league isn't enough for a lot of programs and a lot of students. So I'm all about it. What other stuff you want to talk about with Smash? You got anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, I think we really hit the big ones. I think I'm just excited to kind of get the circuit going. To answer Ranex's question in chat a little bit, for some specifics on the format, each individual qualifier is going to be capped at 16 teams. That way we can get everybody out in a like a regular time frame. So it's going to be totally open entry, no cost, you totally free. You sign up like the week before for the bracket you want to do, and then you kind of just go from there. So, just anyone in chat, if you're interested, please feel free to reach out and ask me any questions. Like, similar to the sense of what we were talking about before, like my goal is to make something as strong for the students as it is. So if you have any questions, if you have any feedback or anything, like you can always message me on Discord, message me on Twitter, whatever. I'm happy to help.
So these events are capped at 16 teams each?
Each of the 4 qualifiers will be 16 teams each. Yep,
okay.
That's correct.
What happens when it gets sold out in 2 minutes?
Look, that's the goal. I think that would be great.
That's what you want? All right.
I think that'd be awesome. I think I want that as long as all 16 teams are signing up for the event for sure and participating. Like if a team shines up and then they don't show up, like they're not going to be allowed to play in any future events at all. But we wanted to make it something that isn't going to take up a massive amount of time frame. You know exactly when it's going to happen. If you wanted to skip a week, you could, but it allows you to also be able to have multiple opportunities to play. But we want to reward the teams that are invested. We think if we can make these 16 teams events really strong, and then this top 8 incredibly strong, people will want to do this. And then next year, when we kind of change what our plans are, maybe we can open it up a little bit more.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your coming on and talking about that.
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong every breath, oh, 'cause I can't move on till I let go.